Hello, hello. How's it going, y'all? Happy Tuesday. We're back. We're back with our regularly scheduled programming. For anyone who is coming over from the immediately preceding video, Ludum Dare 57 episode 2. We crashed out. We crashed out pretty hard. Crashed out pretty hard on Sunday night around 4 in the morning, which was about 7 or 8 hours after I closed the stream. I just kept working. Basically, the short version of it, we had about a quarter of the time left. We probably had about 12 hours or so left. And we were probably about 25% of the way there. So, sad. If I'd had time, I would have just switched to the jam version, like from Compo, and gotten 72 hours. But I had work on Monday, so we just had to cut our losses. It's all right. I ended up going to sleep, which was nice. I didn't want to stay up for like 36 hours or whatever just to make this happen. Went to the beach, kind of just tried to unwind, think about all the things we could do differently next time, aka October, when Ludum Dare comes around again. And so we'll come back. We'll come back stronger, better, making better decisions. I'm going to take time off of work next time. I'm going to take Friday and Monday off of work. Maybe even Tuesday. So yeah. Just didn't work out, which is okay. Super stoked about everything everyone else made, though. I've seen a little bit about some of the projects coming out. I really like the theme this year. We just tried to do too much. Thank you. Thank you, Ryson. Congrats. Congrats on finishing. You know, the ironic thing is if we had access to some of the code from our main project, like some of our more like tile map handling code, I think we would have been in a good spot. But the core wall that I ran into was like the classic handling objects and nodes that are actors that take up more than one tile cell, like a Tetramino does. It was tough. You really need an intermediary to manage that, and I was trying to write one. Or I wasn't trying to write one. I was trying to do it without an intermediary. I was trying to have nodes and tile maps interact directly with each other. It was not. It did not work out. you really need an intermediary, the way we have our managers in our FTL-like, so that the tile maps and the nodes are just like derivative. They're not authoritative in any way. That's really the way I would have needed to architect my little Tetris-like mining game that I was trying to make. But it's all right. I overscoped. Even though I thought I wasn't, I should have. One of the early warning signs was when I mocked up the art that we needed and then spent 10 hours on it. Yeah. But the stream was incredible. I loved Saturday's stream. So thank you anyone who was there. That was our biggest stream probably ever on the channel. We had like a total of like 700 people tune in, something like that. 700 people tune in. A max of 300 and an average of 50. It was huge. Huge for me. Felt good. Maybe kind of made me a little nervous, which is probably why I stuck with making the art on stream, because it was more visual and I was feeling more confident about it. And I had a lot of very deep-seated concerns about the code. But I should have just done the code first, which was the plan. That was on the plan. So, yeah, c'est la vie. We got a couple of streams this week. I'm actually going out of town this weekend for a much-needed vacation. But we're going to stream today and tomorrow. So, let's do a little bit of work. These are probably going to be short streams. At least today is. Let's do a little bit of work. How are you doing post jam racing? Winding down a bit. This is looking like it's gonna be a really low key stream, which I'm down for. I even removed the project from the Godot list of projects. I couldn't look at it. Oh yeah, 4.5 dev 2 dropped. You stayed up and coded over 24 hours straight for the last stretch of it, still recovering. Yeah, that is the way. And I knew that was going to happen to me if I'd kept going. And I still realized there was no time. I had like 14 hours left or something, and I was like, there's no way this is coming together. I could have probably addressed the single core gameplay mechanic issue in 48 hours by itself. I think I like a 72-hour jam. And I kind of wish I had made myself available. Like, I wish I'd taken Monday off of work so I could have called an audible and just been like, I'm not going to make the compo. We'll just publish it as a jam. But that wasn't an option, so I had to just cut and run. Oh well. All right, what are we even doing right now in our main game? We're working on the outlines, I think. None of the outlines are drawing, which is confusing. We should have a used rect outline being drawn right now, but it is not. So we should try to figure that out. I wonder what is happening. I wonder if we're just not auto-tiling, or... Because I thought I scrutinized the tile map layers, and we do have something here. I just don't know what it is. But yeah, that stream Saturday was so good. Hey, Fox Shadow, how's it going? I got a lot of confidence in my art. It was a struggle, but I felt good streaming. Like the feeling that I was able to hold the attention of like 50 people at a time was like felt pretty good. I know a lot of people were lurking and kind of working on their own thing. How are you doing, Fox Shadow? It's nice to see you again. All right. So where's the problem here? We are calling auto tile used bounds. We're passing it along to here. This should be going to the elastic. Wait, you had 50 viewers? That's 49 more than your top stream. We got a lot of raids because we were doing Ludum Dare. And we were doing Ludum Dare on like we did like a marathon, like 10-hour stream. So we had a lot of people raid into us. Lana raided into us with like 350 people. And we had a few other raids too. So we had an average of 50, which was, yeah, huge. Biggest on my channel by far. And having an average of 50 over 10 hours, that felt good. Felt really good. I was definitely nervous. Yeah, thank you. Ludum Dare always grows my channel a bit. Not like a lot, but a bit. I bet if I had finished the jam and we've been playing jam games on stream, I would have doubled or tripled like the increase in follower count. But since we crashed out of the jam, we really just got the boost from that one day. But that's okay. It's all a learning experience. How are you doing? How's it going? Dev-wise, life-wise, whatever. All right, so let's go down here to auto tile. Output pack tile map data, target node. Counts. Grid levels, grid layers. Is grid layers wrong? Grid layers should say 4. It says 3. 4. That's a problem. That could have been causing some kind of crazy issues for sure. But it's still not explaining why we're seeing literally nothing here. You built a new PC, and to avoid the upcoming Windows 11 stuff, you decided to go full Linux. Okay. That sounds cool. All right, we're gonna scrutinize the packing that's happening. Somehow, not sure how. What Linux distro did you go with, Fox? Hey Napa. Hey Napa9693. Welcome in. You're having a good day. Fox Shadow, learning curve. You're getting comfy with it. You hit a small stag on your project that's annoying you. You can't seem to get Git to work with Godot. Keeps freezing. Oh, weird. You need to start a version control, but the Godot 4 plugin keeps freezing. Oh, I don't use the Git plugin for Godot. I just use GitHub Desktop, but I guess that's not an option for you. Could you just, have you tried like the CLI? Just, I'm doing all right, Napa. We're getting back into our regular programming here. We're pretty sure we're sending them some stuff to the tile map, but we're not seeing it, so we're trying to figure that out. All right, so let's say print like our name. then we'll print the tile map data, I guess. Oh, we have to print each layer. You need to scrutinize this data a little bit. All the tools are like, tutorials are like, yeah, do this and it works. You 4 hours later with ChatGPT. Oof. Distro is Mint 22. Start with a beginner-friendly distro. What, you're not using Arch? I don't know. Is that funny? Why is this... Hold on. Hold on a second. What's happening right now? Can you pause? Pause, please. What the absolute F is happening here? We're calling this every frame. Output.tilemaps.count. Oh, no, we're dequeuing. What? What is happening right now? Are you running every frame, regardless of anything? Yeah, you are, huh? Oh. I mean, that's fine, I guess. CLA or something? Oh, Fox, I know nothing about Linux. I'm just thinking about, like, command line interface. Like, is there not way to just... Because you're talking about trying to use the Godot plugin to, I assume, have your Git integrated directly into Godot. And I'm just wondering if you could just do the same thing one does on Windows, which is just use the CLI and just see if the problem is there or if the problem is, like, with the integration. But again, I don't know anything about Linux, so... All right, so we're rendering out and auto tiling out this key.z times grid layers plus key.w. Yeah, it's not working quite right. Source ID 4. Let's check that. So it looks like we've been trying to render a single box. This is at 1100. Okay, so it looks like we're trying to render a box. Four, 5, 3. That's not quite right. We should be rendering 6. Well, for one thing, let's clean up this debugger. Just get Git by itself and run from the command line. It's better that way and more docs and info on that approach. Yeah, that's what I'm suggesting. I think that could work. Hey, DIGITAL, how's it going? Ran a journey, you would recommend getting used to using Git from the command line. Also, if you need a GUI to get started, Git Cola. It's free, open source, and runs on Linux. Okay. How's it going, DIGITAL? All right, well, this is not a workable avenue for debugging here. It seems like we are sending stuff to this layer. But why don't we see anything? Zero, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This all looks correct. Yeah, it's not there. Not bad, just chipping away at a few projects for the day job. Nice. We're trying to we've set up a new way of drawing our selection outlines and stuff, and all we're trying to do is show an outline around the build area, but it's not drawing. It's one of those things that's kind of hard to debug if it's not drawing. If it was drawing anything, I could understand what it's doing, but it's deciding to draw nothing. Maybe we should try to get it to follow the mouse cursor around a little bit, and then we can at least start eliminating possibilities. For what it's worth, Diginanigans has been programming for nearly 20 years and doesn't find any need to be fluent with Git in the command line. Fair. Yeah, I started out using command line, and then I just got GitHub Desktop because I was like, this is fine. And does 90% of what I need to do. And then occasionally I need to like do something crazy. And I go look up like how to do that with the command line, and then I do it. Most of the GUI tools are so good now and can be automated that it takes the need to do most Git commands away. Yeah, I think so. I agree with that. But Fox Shadow is in Linux, so everything is just harder to do in Linux, is my understanding. Yeah. All right, so now we need to isolate this problem. Song is wild. Not very chill. So far, the best GUI tool you've used for Git on Linux is Git Kraken, but it's paid. I see. Rihanna Journey. How are you doing? Oh, we update the auto tiler. Excuse me. Even when we're outside of the window, we probably shouldn't be doing that, but that's neither here nor there. All right, let's just try to start eliminating possibilities. Diginanigans, you stand by that same argument regardless of OS. Your personal desktop is Windows, personal laptop is Fedora Linux, work laptop is Mac OS, and run Linux servers. Yeah, you are all over the place. Yeah, I believe most of those options should work with Godot, Fox, because it's kind of just, as long as Godot is providing the correct Git stuff, which you can set up the project to do so. I think it's pretty plug and play from there. As long as you got those just the minimal hooks that Git needs. You just see it as a cloud service to sync up and/or version control. Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. There just seems to be so many flavors of it, you know? So many flavors of Git. All right, so what we should do here is start auto-tiling just basically where the cursor is. And do a dotted line. Well, we could do a dotted line around the cursor, but what I want to do is like the cast down thing. Did I get rid of the code that did that? Probably did. Because I'm an idiot. Oh no, I probably was setting that up here somewhere in the tile thing. Hover. Yeah, okay. So we called this a projection. It's a new AABB. I don't know why we're sending an AABB. Oh, because we eventually want to make it that way. Okay, so we're still setting this projection. So we just need to auto tile this projection. That should be pretty easy. Let's set that up and see if we can get that to work. The real question is, does it need to be a different auto tile use bounds? Min max bounds. Okay, yeah, this is a particular thing. So let's make another one called private void auto tile projection int target node. Some of this is going to be the same, which is gross. Some of it is not going to be. Fox Shadow, you have a GitHub with a repo setup. You used AI to help you establish a local Git. Everything seems to work. However, in Godot 4 itself, the Godot Git plugin freezes when asked, even after multiple installs. No one else seems to have this issue. That sucks. Yeah, I would just not use the Godot Git plugin. I don't. I installed it and I didn't like it. So I just don't use it. But then you're like, well, what do I use instead? And I think that's when you either go with the CLI or you try one of these other solutions. The CLI, honestly, is like almost... You could just get away with that. You don't need it, but it's like most of what you're doing is just like committing and pushing. And you just learn the couple of little commands that you do for that, and it's like so easy. Relatively. At least as a stopgap until you figure out another solution. All right, so we want most of this, except we aren't going to be using bounds. We're using projection. Honestly, this should be one function. This should be like auto private void auto tile editor grid, something like this. Int target node AABB bounds. And this way we don't need different functions. We could just use the same. So then here we basically just recode this to be the same thing. AABB bounds. auto tile editor grid. Instead of auto tile use bounds specifically, I'd rather not have a bunch of different, mostly the same functions here. So let's just get rid of all the references to bounds here, which is just here, okay? Cool, yeah. That should at least get you going. Then you find a program that you like that works. Diginanigans. If anyone is using VS Code with Godot, it has good built-in Git UI. A lot of other IDEs do as well. Yeah, Writer does. I don't use it. But Writer has Git built in here. Which is kind of cool. I do not use it. But I could. I totally could. Yeah, I don't even need GitHub Desktop for 90% of this. I could do it all in here. But I don't do all of my code editing in here, so I kind of don't want to, but I should try it, honestly. Try using their built-in Git stuff here in Writer. Could you bypass the Godot plugin with VS Code? That's what Diginanigans is saying. It's very well possible. You might still need to use the CLI to hook up a couple things, but probably you can probably do almost all of it, if not all of it, in VS Code if that's what you're using as your IDE. Two options to follow up on. I know. Let's see if we can give you more. Let's see if we can just drown you in follow-up options. All right, so now instead we're going to go back to kind of what we were doing before. Like this. So we have one, and we have bounds. We call this auto tile editor grid. I don't love that name, but it's kind of what we're doing. This is something we only run in the editor. See if we at least get an error. I would love to see an auto tile around the cursor. Okay. Nothing. Oh! We got something. Oh, did I just... Value was either too large or too small for UN. I just went negative. That should not be allowed to happen. Bounds, -1, zeros, and -1, -1, 0. Yeah. Okay, well, let's prevent that from happening. Projection... Where do we do the clamp? Around here. Oh, we can just... Yeah. We can deal with this. Hey, Fusionist, how's it going? Congrats on finishing the jam. It's amazing. Okay, we don't have that error anymore. Still not drawing any kind of selection box, which is sad. Recovered from Sunday night. Yeah, no, I'm good. It was Sunday morning. It was 4 a.m. Sunday morning, so arguably Saturday night, which was a great, super long mega marathon of just dev and streaming and stuff. But yeah, I just crashed out at like 4 a.m. on Sunday morning. There was like 14 hours left or something, and I was like, I'm like a quarter of the way there, and I have a quarter of my time left. Yeah. I think I took 3/4 of the time to get a quarter of the way there, and yeah, couldn't do it. We ran headlong into a problem that actually was a problem that we already know about from our main project, which is that it's really hard to have nodes that are actors that, you know, they animate and they interact and they have functionality and all this stuff, interact with the tile map when these actors, these moving nodes, consist of multiple tiles. Like, they're bigger than one tile. We're handling that to an extent with our choice of architecture in this game, but because we basically added an intermediary, there's like a manager system, and the tile map and the nodes are just visual. They're just like, they're not definitive. They're not authoritative in any way. There's like a separate manager handling all of the simulation and everything. But in the Jam game, I was trying to manage it all directly, and it was really hard. Like, most tile map games don't try to do that, but I was trying to do that because tetrominoes are like multiple nodes. Or they're multiple tiles. They're like, you know, 3x1 or whatever. But most games really don't try to do that. Like, Dwarf Fortress doesn't do that. In Dwarf Fortress, whether you're talking about like a cat or a dragon, it's all one tile. I'm pretty sure Caves of Cud is the same way. So we struggled really hard with that. It was really just a failure of preparation on my part that we just couldn't make it happen. I should have taken Friday off of work. I should have templatized most of my code so that I could have used it in the jam. That would have actually helped tremendously if I had a lot of generic template code. And I should have taken Monday off of work so I could have just switched to doing the jam instead of the compo when I was clearly out of time. Because then I would at least had a chance of finishing if I had gotten an extra 24 hours. I could have at least finished something. So, a lot of lessons learned for next time. You could custom design an engine to get around that issue, but I'd have to be comfortable, like, engine coding. I just need to do a number of things. I need to take off a bunch of time next time I try to do one of these jams. And I need to make sure I've got code templates so that we're not wasting time reinventing the wheel when we run into a problem that we know about, that we've dealt with before. All right, so why is none of this drawing? I'm at the point where it's not giving me any feedback. So it's making it really hard. So if this is greater than min, continue. Yeah. This is less than max, continue. We are passing information to the tile map layer, and we're just not seeing anything. But I'm not 100% sure on what kind of data we're passing in because it's very hard to read raw tile map data. But we definitely have it. We're definitely getting some, but we can't see anything. It's concerning. There's nothing obviously wrong, like we're not like hiding anything. We just don't see anything. Very strange. If you learn something, it's a success. I wouldn't go that far, Fusionist. We learned stuff. I got cocky. I've done a couple of jams and I was like, I know how to jam. I got this. But the Saturday stream was incredible. That was definitely my best stream I've ever done. It was awesome. It was so great. Very pleased. Very pleased we made the attempt, but you know. And I'm really glad I just called it and didn't try to stay up for like 36 hours to like finish it. Fusionist, you know the feeling exactly. Pride came before the fall hard for you a few times. Yeah. Next time, we're just not going to try to do anything tile map related. It's so hard to do a tile map thing on a jam. Because unless I had my crazy like tile map simulator stuff code from this game, which I think it would have been a little disingenuous to have added that. Because it's not very general purpose. Yeah, it would have been so much easier if I had done something more sparse. Like if I'd done a space idea or something where we could have actually used a bunch of built-in components in Godot, like colliders, areas, all this stuff like I did in like my last jam. Like it would have been much... I need to try to do... Next time I need to try to do something much more sparse. Trying to make something where you're interacting with a densely populated tile map is like really... That is really hard to do in a very short period of time. In my opinion. Diginanigans, you'll have to check out the VOD for that. You were busy on the Saturday, so you didn't catch it. No, no worries. You didn't miss anything, technically. I'm proud of the art that we did. I gained a lot of confidence doing the art. I don't know if I still don't know if I love our little dotted line setup, but we should immediately overwrite it. Oh, we don't. And you're way up here. We should be overwriting this. It's interesting that we aren't. It's also... Oh, there we go. Oh, this is all being... There's some interesting things happening here. Where did I draw this? Oh, did I draw this on 0? Oh, yeah, and we're moving 0 up. It's very strange that we weren't overriding this just now. It's very suspicious to me. All right, well, that gives us something to test against, at least. We should be overriding this when we look at the tile pack. Script. Unpack tile map data. Fusionist, you've done so much tile map stuff, though not isometric, that you're not too scared to do it now. You think there's definitely some tools you could carry over to jams? Not sure what your simulation implies. You definitely reuse all your loader and collision physics classes since they equate to built-in engine features. Yeah, for sure. I like doing isometric, and isometric is 3D, and isometric 3D is tough to do in tile maps because you have to layer the tile maps. I think I don't know why I'm so against doing just top down or side on. It just doesn't speak to me. I just have almost no interest in doing top down or side on stuff. I always want to do some kind of 3D or pseudo 3D thing, and it's a lot harder. But yeah, I should put some effort into templatizing some of my stuff that's more generic and could be more generically applied to an isometric game or dimetric or whatever. A lot of it's written in C# right now, but it doesn't have to be. 3D. You should just cheat and reuse your helpers for that. I should. Honestly, if I had access to the same kind of models and the systems that I have access to in my main game, I probably could have put something together for it. Because that provides me the intermediary that would have let me do all the simulation and then turned it into nodes and tile maps. And I think that would have worked just fine. But I wasn't prepared. And I was punished. Yeah, no, that stuff is allowed. Base code is allowed. I don't know why it's like the one thing I could do, I could provide for myself in advance, and I didn't do it. Yeah. I got cocky. I was like, well, the likelihood that we need to use that stuff is pretty low, and like I can probably figure it out, but I should have remembered just how barely I got through the last Ludum Dare by the skin of my teeth. I got cocky because my last jam was solo dev, which was really great, but I didn't need to make any content for solo dev. I spent all of my time focusing on the mechanics and the code because I just used asset packs for that jam because you were allowed to do that. I need to be more observant of the specific rules of the jam, of like what is affording me. Because like Ludum Dare doesn't let me just use asset packs, but it does let me use base code, so I should have just had a bunch of that stuff ready to go. Oh well, we have until October. We'll try to set aside some time to do that. All right, so unpack tilemap data, pack tilemap data, layer count, pack tilemap data.decode. So we get the header, we get our layer count, we go through each index in the header. We figure out the sizes of each layer. For I in range, layer count. And we go through each layer. Layer ends equals layer begins plus layer size is I. We know all of this code works because this is the same code we use elsewhere. Tile level layers, I.tilemap data, pack tilemap data.slice, layer begins, layer ends. This all should work, and it should overwrite. Like here, let me see if this is true. Let me go to the editor. Let me just mess around here for a second. So if I just draw some junk out here. Where am I? I don't know what layer I'm on. Pick a different one. Hull levels, hull layer 0. Let's say deck layer Z. Let's just draw some junk. So if I draw this, if I just draw some junk, this should get overwritten when we run the game. Will you be around for LD58 October 3rd? Yeah, I'm gonna try. And like I said, I'm gonna try to. I'm gonna take Friday off. I'm gonna take Monday off, so that if I don't make it to the compo, I can at least buy myself another 24 hours and submit the game as a jam. Okay, yeah, we overwrote it immediately. Okay, so something is happening with the workflow here. Maybe I'm not... Because, yeah, this did exactly what I expected it to, which is it, yeah, overwrote the data as soon as possible. And this data is not being overwritten, this random junk that I drew. Okay. Okay, we're starting to identify a problem. Getting there. Starting to figure out the shape of the problem. I may or may not try to do a jam before then, before October as well. I try not to do too many jams because I really just don't have time, but if like another solo dev jam came up that I was interested in, maybe. I like doing solo jams. But the thing is, from like a brand standpoint, I need to do bigger jams if I want to like grow my channel and stuff. If I'm trying to do it from like because it's a really great way to grow the channel, and it's a nice bit of variety. But that keeps me from doing like small jams, or like, and then my lack of time prevents me from doing jams a lot. So it's like it's a very small selection of jams that seem worth it to me. But I should try to branch out and try some more jams. I enjoy it. It forces me to grow in a lot of ways creatively that I wouldn't otherwise. That would take a long time to grow. All right, so what do I think is the problem here? It sounds like we are not... There's something happening where they're not getting the data. It looks like they are, though. It's so weird. So weird. What game you making? I'm gonna call you Better because I cannot pronounce the beginning of your name. Better, we are making like a 3D. We're trying to make an isometric 3D version of FTL, Faster Than Light. That's kind of the thing we were working on. Right now we're working on some aspects of our editor tool to build out these levels. Fusionist, you just remembered your next LD will be in a team, so we won't be directly competing. That's okay. I don't want to compete against you, Fusionist. It's cool that you've lined up a team that far in advance for that. All right. Output pack tile map data. This is all good. Let's compare that here. Is any of this like hard-coded in a way that's I'm not thinking about? No, this is hard-coded, but this is fine. Better, you're trying to make a pixel 2D game? Oh, cool. Yeah, we kind of are too. We're using tile map layers in Godot to kind of cheat a little bit. So we are using like a stack. Let me run this somewhere else. Oh, you're all doing this, right? Oh wait, you're not doing this. Oh no, you are. Why are you still here? Suspicious? Oh, I didn't save. So we're using 2D tile map layers and we're stacking them so that we can fake these 3D structures. And we're using an auto tiler to draw it for us. So this is like fake 3D. This is kind of the thing we're doing. But it's a pixel art game. But yeah, we can auto tile all sorts of stuff. Doors, walls. We can rotate things, so we can rotate around. The rotation origin is not set up correctly. I need to fix that. That's part of what we're trying to work on. So when I rotate it, it rotates around the entire canvas, which is not correct. Trying to learn Godot. Any tips for learning Godot particularly? I say just do small things, do small projects. Jams if you can, tutorials. just try to explore the engine to the greatest extent possible. Like, my problem is, like, I know what I'm doing, or I know what I'm trying to build, and so I'm building a lot of custom tools to get there, but it's like, there's a lot of aspects of the engine that I just don't understand. Like, I never use stuff until it comes up in something. And I think I just wish I had more experience with the engine in general instead of just a little subset of the engine that I need for this particular game. I think it would have been nice to learn a little more generally first before diving in so deep into a project. Hey, Leandro, how's LD? It was all right. We crashed out pretty hard Sunday morning after about 34 hours or so. We got about 3/4 of the way through the time and did about a quarter of the game. We just ran out of time. So, rip. But it was a great time. I had a great time doing it. How are you doing? Oh, so maybe we are resetting these, just not all of them. Let me see. Let me see about this. Okay. Okie doke. I misunderstood what was happening. Glad I checked that. What kind of game are you thinking about? How much experience have I got? In Godot, about 1.5 years of Godot. I've made a few jam games in Godot. Before that, I was working in... my engine of choice was Unity for about 15 years. And then about 1.5 years ago, I switched to Godot. It's unfortunate. The idea was cool. Yeah, the idea was cool. It ended up being hard. It ended up being very hard to implement. I wish I had spent more time earlier on the implementation instead of just getting carried away with the art. But the art was such an unknown for me that I also wanted to deal with that. There were just too many unknowns. It's fine, though. You live and you learn. We'll come back next time, do even better. And by do even better, I mean finish. Hopefully. Diginanigans, you've got the exact opposite learning style. You tend to bite off bigger projects that pique your interest that are outside of what you know how to do. Then that motivates you to learn the individual aspects. That's how I do it. That's like I'm all in on like you know, I'm all in on this stuff, on this small subset of the Godot engine that I use day to day. I just wish I had done more, because when I first picked up the engine, I did a lot more prototyping and stuff, and I was trying out different things. I just wish I had stayed in that phase a little longer, maybe. But the game jams are getting me to do that more. The game jams are getting me to try out the different aspects of the engine more, so that's good. 15 years, yeah, for Unity. What's better to use, Unity or Godot? If you are an individual, you're also probably in ads. Let me know if you're not in ads and I'll answer your question. Otherwise, I'm going to wait until you get out of ads. Next time theme will be doors. I loved the theme this time. That's the worst part, is normally people always joke that the Ludum Dare theme sucks, and this one was great. And I wasn't able to make it happen, and that makes me sad. You're not in ads? Beautiful. Unity has a lot of things that are good about it. The engine itself has a lot of things that are good about it. The business, I don't trust. I don't trust the company. Whereas I do trust the Godot Foundation. But if you're a solo developer, and specifically you're doing pixel art, Godot is hands down better for pixel art. Because the Godot system is pixel perfect. Like one unit of the transform movement, like moving one along X is moving 1 pixel along X in the viewport, right? Like, that's amazing. That's like pixel perfect rendering, pixel perfect collisions. Yeah, I can't imagine using a different engine for 2D. That said, I've never used Game Maker, and that's another one people like to use for 2D. All right, so why are we not rendering absolutely anything. Obviously, the problem is somewhere in this auto tile editor grid function. This is the only thing. Tiles.clear, tiles key equals tile. There's something happening here that is causing us tremendous grief. Maybe I should... Maybe I should breakpoint here and just look at it, see what's happening. All right, what do we got? Counts, integer, 32. Okay, so the first 4 layers of the first level are occupied. That's fine. Bounds is 3942, 3942. That's about where my cursor is. So it's probably fine. Source ID, whatever, target node is 1. Where is my tiles member variable? Source ID 3, alternative tile 0. Oh no, we're reusing this, aren't we? Yeah, the fact that we're drawing literally nothing is perplexing to me. You can't learn GDScript? It's okay. GDScript is okay. Or you could, yeah, do... I'm using both for different aspects of the project. C# is great. There's some particular reasons you wouldn't want to use it. Like, I think web build is still busted. But, like, if you're patient, yeah, you can use C# or C++ or whatever. Yeah, it doesn't have to be GDScript. I like GDScript though. It's weird. I forget how it works every time. Like doing Ludum Dare. I was trying to do basic stuff in GDScript and I was like, I literally don't remember how GDScript works. Sleepy Dragon Games. New here, channel surfing through the game dev channels. What's the elevator pitch? Hey, Sleepy Dragon. Elevator pitch is FTL faster than light as like an isometric 3D game. So more vertical. So you've got like stacks. So maybe like you've got the bridge on the top and then like, you know, some systems rooms or like the engineering or cargo bay. So it's like FTL, but more of a 3D presentation. If FTL is chess, we're making like 3D chess, you know? Yeah, it's cool. We're all doing it from scratch. I'm a solo dev, so I do all the art and the programming and stuff. Right now, we're working on an editor tool that we have to build out these systems. We're trying to work out... We're unable to draw this widget that I'm trying to generate, but we can draw out this stuff in 3D space. So we have this big auto tiler, and we can build out these fake 3D isometric spaces. There, I want to draw it here. Yeah, we're working on the tools right now. We're still fairly early, I would say. I know I literally just gave this demo, but... Yeah, we can hollow out rooms and stuff. Our auto tiler doesn't work, and I'm trying to understand why that's happening. I cut the floor out. Oops, there we go. Yeah, we have a cutaway system to like see into the levels, because you can just keep building down. So So we have a process for peering into these bigger 3D spaces that we're going to be building. We can rotate the tile map areas. So it's a pretty crazy presentation that we're working towards. Very unusual. We have a long way to go, I think. But we're working on it a little bit every day. Sounds interesting. You're India as well? Oh, cool. Thank you for the follow, Halfwit HQ. Better. You're making a pixel game, you know, so do you have to draw anything, or can you get from... yeah, you can... Yeah, free assets on itch.io is great. Maybe Auto Tyler isn't feeling so good today. Nice, Fusionist. Awesome. What kind of stuff are you working on, Sleepy Dragon? David creates stuff with MIDI. Hello there. I'm a Dave. Welcome. Welcome. It's nice to see a fellow Dave in here. Or, I mean, you're David, but close enough. Zombie survival city builder or colony builder. Okay, okay. No, I kind of like that. I kind of like the pressure. I like having that inward pressure. Yeah, that pressure from the outside when you're doing that stuff. That's why I like Dave isn't a diminutive. Yeah, it's short. It's short for David. I'm also a David. I just don't... You'd never call me that. You don't get to call me that, Fusionist. No, I like that sort of thing, Sleepy Dragon. Like, I don't like Satisfactory very much because Satisfactory to me is just too open-ended. There's no pressure on me to do anything. But I love Factorio, because Factorio, you're like building up and you've got to defend against... you've got to defend your walls and stuff. I love that. I love the pressure of something like that. So yeah, Zombie City Builder sounds cool. All right. Okay, you're also a Dave. I love that. No, I prefer Dave. My family can call me David. The government calls me David. People who are angry with me sometimes will call me David. Usually they'll call me Dave instead. Just a little different. Reminds you of a pun in The Simpsons. Homer says, Bartholomew, who's that? Oh, nice. Yeah. That's good. That's good. Output pack tile map data. What do you use for... Where do you get your data from? Oh, you just get it from the tiles. Tiles.values. You just pull out the tiles. Is there a reason why this wouldn't work for the auto tile... For the debug draw thing we're doing? Because it works perfectly for our regular hull shape stuff, but for some reason when we try to draw this editor grid, we don't get anything. So obviously the problem is here somewhere. Let me look up a little bit at the chain of events that causes this. The hook for your game is it's zombie survival, not humans. Wait, what do you mean? Like, you play the zombies? Yeah, that's wild. That's definitely not what I was thinking. All right, the problem is obviously in this function, auto tile editor grid. This is the only thing that we do differently from the other workflow. Somewhere in here is the problem. Oh, this system, does this system not work when... Does this system not work when it's size 1? Because if x is equal to x, coords.x plus 1... Oh, F me. We have to do this twice then. Huh. Or I just need to iterate over the maximum and minimum extents, which is what someone told me to do anyway. You'll imagine there are waves of soldiers coming through, so you need to build barricades and stuff. That's so fascinating. What an interesting approach. You really flip that on its head. Better, how do you make people play your game? Like, how do you get to the people that want to play? That is hard. Yeah, Rhiannon, you suspect a lot of indie devs would love to know the answer to that question. Make a big following and promote it there. Yeah, I mean, that's part of the reason I'm streaming, right? Is I'm trying to build a community and an audience for a game that doesn't exist. So that in like 5 years, when the game is done, there's an audience of people who want to play it. Like, so I think that is the modern indies problem, is you need to build your audience while you build the game. Or you need to just keep building games. You can also build a bunch of small games and slowly build up an audience. Because like the vast majority of indie devs only ever release one game on Steam. But if you release more games, you start to build up a following. Okay, I see a problem. Like, I see a problem. But it's not the kind of problem that would prevent... It's not the kind of problem that would... That would cause it to just not draw at all. It's a different kind of problem that I see here. I don't see a problem that would prevent any drawing of any kind. That's the part that I like don't understand. All right, let's run this in editor. That won't work, will it? Can I put a breakpoint here and play it here and scrutinize it in editor? Howtomarketagame.com. Yeah, if you read about Chris Sikowski, that does help. So where... I guess I can try to scrutinize it here. This isn't gonna really work, is it? It'd be cool if you could scrutinize tile map data a little bit. How are we gonna do this? I wanna do this. I wanna figure this out. I mean, I have to figure this out, but I need to figure out where the problem is. I feel like that's so much of programming, is just figuring out exactly where the problem is. All right. I'm just gonna go to the bottom here. Well, let's say, I'm gonna go down here. Let's say print our name so we know what we're talking about, and then print, and then if level layers I tile map data dot size greater than 0. And print it. We want to print the tile map data. Oh, we can't say I, can we? That's why we do this up here. Let's do this here. Let's do a prints. So we'll say prints self.name and we'll print I as well. Prints. Actually, yeah, let's not print this at all otherwise. Let's try to avoid spamming the thing. Fusionist, very random question, but was Tim Rogers at GDC? I don't know. I didn't see him. I saw a lot of other people. But there were like, there's usually like 20,000 people there or something like that. So 10 or 20, I don't remember. Somewhere in that range. Probably less than 20 nowadays. I did not see Tim Rogers. I would presume he doesn't go to that, but maybe he did. A lot of people have started skipping that event if they don't need to go. Like I saw some great people there, like Adam C. Eunice and like Practical MPC, but they're like pitching their projects to like publishers and stuff. So like they have a reason to go. But a lot of, to me, in my mind, a lot of indies that aren't local just kind of skip GDC nowadays. Sleepy Dragon, something you're trying out is befriending streamers to market to. You try streaming yourself, but you know you lack the charisma to be on camera. Don't sell yourself short. But yeah, befriending streamers helps, especially streamers that are in a category that would be interested in what you're doing. I mean, I didn't have the charisma. I arguably still don't. But I definitely didn't have the charisma to stream when I first started. Like, go watch my episode 0. It's like so bad. But now we're over a year later. I'm a little more comfortable, but I'm still not there. It's time scale. All this stuff happens on a very long time scale. It's tough. You're gonna promote on TikTok. That's hard to get into as well. I don't think I'm not Gen Z, so I don't think I can crack the code of TikTok. I'm dripping in charisma. Wow, you're too nice. Too kind, Rhiannon. Yeah, I think your options, you have 2 options. You can do some dances on TikTok. I should get into that. You're Gen X. Thanks, David. I'm a millennial. Kind of in a sandwich between the 2 cooler generations. Sleepy, you had to make a short video for a grant that you had received. Took you an hour for a 2-minute video and you still looked awkward AF. Well, you got the grant. So, works out. Diginanigans, TikTok works better when you get to the point where you can show more visual snippets of progress. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I'll probably do YouTube shorts when that happens. Just because I'll have the footage on YouTube already, and I think you can build shorts out of longer form videos on YouTube without too much editing. I don't know, I need to look more into that, but I think that's probably what I'll do once I have more stuff I can show off like that. Would help with physique too. What are you saying, Fusionist? Are you saying I'm fat? Because I am. But again, you're not allowed to say that. Only I'm allowed to say that. Rhiannon Journey, we're all our own worst enemies. Lots of things we see about ourselves no one else will notice. Oh yeah, I heard something about that was relevant today. I read it on a Discord I'm in. It was like what's the secret? It was like, what's the secret to writing? And the answer to the secret of like, what's the secret to writing is you have to get over your own natural and appropriate revulsion to your own work. That's the secret to like writing well, is to like just get over yourself. Yeah, I'm just teasing you, Fusionist. You wanted to drop at least 6 free games so people know my style of games. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Better. Try Better. Oh, I'm starting to figure out what your name is. I don't understand the first section, but I see Try Better. You can either do what I'm kind of doing, which a lot of people do, which is like the really long cycle. The like incredibly long, like 5 or 6 year project cycle, which is a huge gamble, and I recommend no one to do it. Because the only people that we know about that did it are all the success stories. It's like a survivorship bias problem. The other option you could do is just make a ton of little games. So instead of the one big circle, now you're making a lot of little circles. And you're forming the big circle with lots of little circles. And those circles are your dev cycle, right? So when you make a bunch of little games, you're going through the whole cycle. And you're learning so much. So I think if I had a small idea, if I only had it, if I was the kind of person that could have a lot of small ideas, I know a lot of people that have just spreadsheets of game ideas, and they're like, I could do this, I could do that, I could do that. I don't. I have 2 game ideas, and I'm going to make them in a row. I'm like, I have this game idea, and I have the game idea for the game I'm going to make after this game idea. So, like, I'm done. Like, except for game jams, I'm not going to need to come up with any more game ideas for the rest of my professional career. Like, I have over a decade of game ideas in my head already, and it's just 2 ideas. So I think it's better to do small stuff. I wouldn't recommend doing this large scale stuff. Okay, here we go. All right, so I am getting the data, and this data, oh, look at these 255s. The data in the middle here is just mostly broken. These, I see the giant glaring problem. Sleepy Dragon Games, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. Oh, there was an actual error back there. Oh, that's just output overflow. Okay, so we've got the header, we've got the coordinates, min coord, max coord. And then we just have a bunch of gibberish in the middle. Huh. Okay, so that's fine. We've identified the core problem. It's the middle. And it's not the middle, it's actually the end. It's this chunk. Source ID, Atlas Chords, alternative tile. This is all being just garbled. For some reason, this data is not making it out correctly. But wait. It's telling me that on the editor levels too. It's just saying 255, 255, 255. And that's not true, because the editor levels are rendering correctly. Wait, what the F is happening here? Okay, I thought I understood. I'm going to read chat for a minute while I try to understand this. Because the editor levels are showing me the same thing, but they just work. They just straight up work. Huh. You have a spreadsheet of unfinished projects, Leandro. Nice. Rhiannon, you're starting the long cycle, and you're sure you'll be the next Stardew Valley concerned ape. Oh, I am 100% sure that you will be. I'll see you in 8 years. When you've made your game 4 times and remade it 4 times. Sleepy Dragon, you need to follow just to find out what the second idea is. Oh, yeah, yeah. Tune in about 7 or 8 years, and we're going to get started on the second idea, probably. Try better. You were thinking to make small games, and when you get more people to work with you to make big games. I think that's, yeah, that is a good strategy. Fusionist, your next first project you'll finish is the new jam one. Oh, are you thinking of post jamming it and like building it out? That'd be great. All right, so why is the data reading like that? The 255s indicate to me some kind of problem with the conversion of the data, but the issue I have with that interpretation is that it doesn't seem to mean anything for the editor pieces. All right, let's scrutinize these tiles a little bit. Make sure the problem isn't there. David, okay, the tile data is actually correct. So the problem is not there in the tile data. David, you're saying you're horrible coming up with game ideas and completing the ones you can come up with? Yeah, I'm right there with you. Oh no, there's like layer data here. Wait, what? Is the layer data causing a problem? The layer data needs to be just an int. It needs to not be an enum. I'm making a mistakey the way I've structured the tiles. Can I just change this without breaking everything? Or can I do this a different way? Let's look at the tile. Tile.layers. Ugh. This is not what I wanted, but I use this everywhere. Oh, shoot. Is it fine though? Does it matter? It might not matter, actually. As far as I can tell, the tile data is all fine, which is annoying because it's still not drawing anything. Or it's not drawing this grid, but the tile data seems fine. Frustrating, deeply frustrating. Fusionist, yeah, you think you will. This one's worth it, you feel? That's awesome. I hope you stick with that. Because that's how I felt about my first Ludum Dare game, and then I worked on it a couple months, and I realized, like, it was an illusion. There actually wasn't anything there, but I really hope there's something there. I think there is. I hope it doesn't, like, fall out from under your feet. I hope you get what you want out of it, I guess would be the best way to say that. So I think it's great. I think it's awesome. Sleepy Dragon games. Your trouble is you can think of your many game mechanics, but putting together a complete idea, not so much. Even this zombie game. Your idea was building a zombie horde. Don't know if it's post-apocalyptic, pre-apocalyptic, causing the apocalypse. Causing the apocalypse would be pretty fun. It would be almost like a reverse tower defense kind of thing. I mean, I know you're saying it's like a survival game, but like... And you're actually kind of making it more of a defense thing, but I think having it be like your goal is to like take over and like cause the downfall of society. I think that's pretty awesome. I think that's pretty cool. Fusionist, well, even the love of the game is worth spending the time post-jamming. That's the right attitude. That's the right attitude to have. All right, I am like almost at my wit's end here as far as trying to figure out why my debug draw thing isn't working here. Why my little grid isn't drawing anything. Thank you. I think you try better. Ilea? Is your name Ilea? And I just wasn't able to pronounce it. I'm like squinting at my screen. Yeah, I think your name is Ilea. If it's not, let me know. I would love to call people by the correct name. Oh, so here we have good data. Why is it so jacked up in this mode? But it works. These like strings of 255. This tells me something's wrong. But the problem is I'm not actually seeing bad behavior for like this group. This is just the correct behavior. Here, let me try a couple other things. Yeah, so if I do that, what do we got? Okay, now this is all reasonably correct. Not all correct though. Oh yeah, this might be a debug issue. I think it's just drawing the data incorrectly, or I don't know. It's really hard to read raw tile map data. But yeah, elastic levels. Oh, it's recreating this whole thing. Yeah, so all the data is coming over. That's so crazy. Elastic 1, elastic 2. Editor levels 0, editor levels 1, editor levels 2. Okay, so the editor levels are rendering correctly. The editor levels, look at all these good numbers. This is good data we're getting on the editor levels. 0, 1, and 2. And then we look at the elastic levels. Okay, once again, we're getting good data, and it looks identical. So, it's like reading the Matrix. It's like, you're like, oh, there's a brunette. All right, yeah, I think the tile map data is correct, but for some reason it's not drawing. That's insane. That is insane. How could that be? Header, or not header, that's tile map layer mode. Position X, position Y, source ID, Alice chord, Alice chord. Oh, 2, 2. 2, 2. 0, 0, 0. Okay, 2, 2. Are we just rendering blank tiles because I'm insane and I'm doing this wrong? Yeah, well, you can call it that too. It's a Serbian name, so you sound right to us. Okay. Okay. Whatever is good with you is what I will call you. I don't pretend that I can pronounce Serbian anything. Phonetic spellings always help, but last thing I want to do is be horribly misnaming people. Like my friend Fusion Nist. Or Fusi on Nist. All right, I'm convinced that the tile map data is correct and is coming in clean, so we can stop debugging that. The question is, what are we asking it to draw? And I'm a little concerned about that part. We're getting a lot of 2, 2. What is 2, 2? This is 4, 1, 5, 1, 6, 1, 7, 1. What do we want to call in that's 2, 2? Oh, like this. This is 1, 5, 0, 4, 0, 6, 0, 7. Oh, hold on a second. Why is this how this works? I think my entire sound system just crashed. I think my whole audio device just crashed and reloaded. Here's a problem that I think we have. I think we're picking solid. We're picking solid Atlas coords. Oh man, I think I messed up the Atlas coords mapping because I stacked them. I think these need to be different on different sprite sheets. Oh, that feels really dumb. I should probably test that theory before I redraw the sprite sheets. Let's go down in here and recode this a little bit. Okay, so let's say 1. Let's say 2. Let's say 0. I think I messed up. Oh my god, I did. I mean, this is still wrong, but like, I have a better understanding of why it's wrong. We're drawing something now. And the top and bottom auto tiling is working. The XY is not working, but the offset is wrong. We need an offset. The offset should be like this. All right, progress. We got something on the screen. Knowing is half the battle. Yay, it's broken, but it works. Yeah. Well, I can see it. If I can see it, I can reason about it. Here's exactly the problem. So I drew these on top of each other. So like the solid lines go from like 0, 0 to 3, 3. And then the dotted lines are done here. I thought the Atlas coords was going to be locally based. Like I thought it was going to be based on whatever block of tiles I create. So like I'm not using this top block here, this top set. Instead I've done it down here. And I thought this would be 0, 4. Well, but I thought this would be 0, 0, but it's not 0, 0, it's 0, 4 because it's on this crazy offset. So I just need to redraw these and then fix whatever crazy problem is here. Whatever's going on here. 4, 1, 5, 1. 0, 1, 1, 1. Okay, so it works here. Wait, why is this... What? I don't actually understand what's happening in the tile set exactly. Oh no, these... Wait, so how do I get rid of this? Can I get rid of these? No. So it counts those, but it doesn't count these? Question mark? 4, 1, 5, 1, 6, 1, 7, 1. Yeah, this is super weird what's happening here. All right. All right, so the y never changes here. Why am I trying to change the y? X, X, X. It also can't be vector 2i dot 0. It needs to be vector 2i. It needs to be a new vector 2i. It needs to be this for now. Okay, I know what I need to fix. That's great. I was really worried we were gonna like finish the day with having no idea what was going on. This is much better. Okay, we're getting there. So why are you lined up correctly, but you're not? Suspicious. We aren't doing the mouse over, which is a little concerning. I thought we would also get the mouse over. Maybe I'm hiding the mouse over. Was it because of the offsetting I'm doing? Even broken, this makes it easier to reason about the build space. Yeah, that's true. But I just need it to render correctly here. Okay, so what are we doing? So first thing we need to do is we need to add this offset that I don't understand, but we've needed this offset. For some reason, we need to put an offset here. Editor levels -8. Wait, where is this then? Is this too far down? -24. -8, -24. Yeah, -24 is... Or -16. Okay, dial it in here. Okay, so vertically, this is correct now, I think. Like if I put this line here. Nope, it's still not quite there. So you need to be at the same level as the other thing, -8. Okay, I'm dialing in the Z. Fusionist, 19 total ratings so far. You think the karma system was fixed? Hell yeah. That's great to see. The Z indexing here is wrong, but that's fine. It's like I'm drawing a fence, not how this is supposed to look. Why is it off like this? I must have the... I think I have an idea. Is this gonna make it better or worse? Better. $19 for 19. Well, that's great. You'll have no problem getting there then, probably. Okay, this is wildly offset now. Oh, but the auto tiling for the Z works. Look, we can build this box, and at least the Z stuff is right. The XY stuff is very wrong. But it's drawing a square at the top and the bottom, so it's at least going to be easier to reason about the 3D space. But there's some wild stuff happening still with the XY. That's fine. Can live with that. Also, the Z indexing is very wrong. How is it so wrong? $28. Fusionist, you decided not to stream ratings this time around. It honestly bummed you doing it. Yeah, I think I have mixed feelings about playing the jam games on stream. I enjoyed doing it, but I think I would do the ratings separately. I like rated on stream too, and I regret doing that to some extent. I was generally very kind. But yeah, I don't know. I think I started out kind of harsh and then just got like more and more chill throughout the ratings because I didn't really understand what the expectations were. It's kind of up to, I feel like it's very up to the individual. I know some people take it super seriously and are really hardcore about the ratings. And then for me, it's like, I think everyone just gets a participation award. I think just finishing the compo is so hard. Yeah, I get not necessarily wanting to do that on stream. All right, I need to fix the Z indexing, but that's a slightly lower priority problem for me. Fusionist, you hid your ratings when you did them, but the thing is more that it's a coin toss whether someone's just here for the easy rating or makes the social effort too. Yeah, I think that was my regret. Is I got like 100 something ratings or whatever. I got like 100 ratings. And yeah, a lot of people, it was just people coming in to have their game played on stream. And I generally encouraged and asked people to play my game and rate it in return. And I think a lot of people just like tried it, was like, meh, and then just like bailed. I think next time I'm not going to pressure people to play my game. I would just pin my game in the chat and just be like, this is what I made. I think I pushed it a little too hard last time. And I think I got a lot of very meh responses. I mean, to be fair, the game in its original form was meh. So I don't feel like people were being unfair. Fusionist, you had to play the grown-up to keep people at the very least in the chat by the time you get to their entry. Oh, yeah. I did a queue as well. And I don't know. I don't like the random, the like Pomo roulette thing, whatever it is, the wheel. Pomo's wheel. But queues also suck because queues, people just pop in the queue and then like minimize the window and yeah, I don't know. I would probably, if I streamed next time for the game playthroughs, I would prioritize people I know and like people who post their game in the Discord or whatever. And then I don't know what I would do. Maybe I would have random rolls or something. Yeah, I have to decide, I guess, next time how I want to do that stuff. Taking bribes? Oh, yeah, pay to win. You got to do the pay to win, I guess. Yeah, subscribe, get to the head of the line. Throw some bits. Throw bits, get moved up in the queue. Yeah, you gotta push that stuff. All right, so why is the X and the Y just so wrong? So if chords X is not equal to min X. So if we're not at the back, we give it +1. We give the X atlas chord +1. If we're not at the front, we give it +2. X. Oh, I think I'm using the wrong chords here. I think I'm calculating with the wrong chords. I think the X layer is actually the Y. I think I mixed up the chords. I think that's causing some crazy drawing. The key is probably wrong. No, the key is probably right. Fusionist, yeah, I'll play your game. Fusionist here just paid me $10 for the next hour. Think you can outbid them? Yeah, that's how it's done. Oh, I didn't. Oh, I fixed some of it. Okay, so I got rid of the extra, but the edges are rendering very incorrectly. What is going on here? We're like very close to having this correct, which is great because I need to go. Let me try one or two things, and then we'll probably pick this up tomorrow and get the rest of this working. Now that we know that it basically works. So what could be the problem? Could the problem be back to the tile set? Should this be 8 and not -8? And likewise, should this be -8 and 12? That doesn't seem right. Yeah, I have a meeting. I have a work meeting in a bit. I need to have some lunch before then. I have some fried rice I really want to eat. Oh, I think we almost got it. Look at this. I think we just need to make one little adjustment here. Maybe it's 10, not 12. If not, I've made some other problem somewhere else. All right. Let's see about this. This would be very incredible and climactic if we just solved the problem here in the last few minutes of the stream. Wow. Look at that. The Z indexing is wrong, but that's fine. Everything else is very good. Actually, this might just be being drawn to the wrong. Okay, I see a couple problems, but we've dealt with a lot of this. If we go down, if we start just adding layers down, then this just keeps expanding. So this shows us the used rect, which is good if you've got like multiple things drawn out. And this is way better than what we had before as far as like busy. What we had before was so busy. I'm gonna switch to dotted lines, but we're getting there. Ship it. All right, very pleased. So next time we're gonna redraw the tile map so that the dotted lines work correctly, and then we will double check the positioning and the Z indexing. Yeah, we have some problems on the negative side, but that's fine. We can worry about that later. Pretty cool. Maybe I want this wall to be solid if you're touching it, so that you can see that you're pushing this wall back. I don't know. Maybe it's intuitive enough that you're doing that. That's what you're doing. Yeah, we'll figure it out. But this is what I want it to generally look like. The like various selection boxes and stuff. Looking good, thanks to Shenanigans. All right, I'm gonna go get lunch. This has been nice. This has been a nice chill. I was almost tempted not to like stream at all this week, just mostly out of shame for crashing out of the jam. But I'm glad I did, because I like hanging out with y'all. And we met some new people today. All right. I don't know if I have time to raid. Oh, we got someone making isometric tactics deck builder game. That's kind of tempting. Great stream. Thanks, Ryson. right, let's pass this along to another Godot streamer here. All right, this has been great. Yeah, I'll be back tomorrow. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.